Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to go over the trades that we took on Friday, as well as the game plan going into this week and what I'm going to be looking for to take trades off of. So, again, every day we go on the 30-minute here on the Friday contracts. We're going to probably get the 570s unless we get a gap down. What did we close at exactly? Why is it giving me like three big price differences? Okay, so we closed that. Oh, okay, 564. Is that what we closed at? Why? I don't know what this blue line is down here, but that's the 50 estimate, I think. Okay, never mind. So 564. Okay, we're gonna get like the 570 calls for this or for Friday. So the 570s. I don't know. Do I even have those on my watch list? Don't think so. Here, I could just change this. Actually, I think if I just go like this, go to a 7, and that should fix it. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we look like on the 30-minute for the 570s. Actually, no, this is definitely not right, because okay, this is definitely not right. Hold on, my bad. I gotta change this. Okay, so this is what we currently look like. That took me a minute to get them, but as you can see, what do we see on these charts? So on the put side, the 10, which is the green line, is below the 50, so there's no trend on the put side. And then if we go to the call side, same thing. The 10 is below the 50 on the call side. There's no trend on the call side. So no trend on the callers or the puts. That means we're in a neutral market, and that's why the last week we've had some not so good price action, because we are neutral. When we're neutral, the moves could be a little bit more choppier, and we don't get as big of moves when we get those 0 DT crosses. So if we do just look on these charts actually, I'll wait to do that for game plan for next week, or for this week. But what we did on Friday is this, pretty simple. So market was neutral. All right, first thing that came up was actually on the put side, not the call side. So if you look here, this is what we looked like right off open. So right off open, we had this massive green candle at 9:30 because we gapped down. And when there's a big gap like this, I am not taking the cross. This wasn't a trade to take anyways, because again, in my last video I went over the criteria of what trades you could take in a neutral market, and this isn't one. Why? Because we were sitting right at this 50 SMA on the put side. So if we look here on the 30-minute, right here, you could have, it looks a lot better than the last chart because I just changed the contract, but we were sitting right at this 50 SMA on the put side. So that's a massive resistance spot on puts. So we're not taking that 0-day cross on puts when we get it, because we're at that big resistance spot on the higher time frame. So that's just not a trade you take. When we go back to the puts chart, this is what I did take though. So back to the 5-minute, I did take this. I took this negative cross right here because I know we're sitting at that massive resistance. Likely we're not going to hold on the 0-day chart, and this cross, isn't really going to play out. I mean, you could have caught a move right here off of this 10 SMA, but that it still didn't give that big of a move. Probably gave you some points, but since we're at that big resistance spot, it's better just to wait for the negative cross in this scenario. So I waited for this 10 to go below the 50 here, and I took this negative cross. I called it out, I think, right on this 1050 candle, and then we got a nice rip or dump on these contracts on this candle and then this candle, and that was the trade I took. We caught about 55-60 points at NQ, and that's all you needed for the day. That is really all you needed, because when we're in a neutral market, it's not one you want to stick around with and take a million trades, because you're most likely going to give back gains, and then again, the action is just not going to be the greatest that time. So the main goal in a neutral market is just to survive. So either don't trade or take one trade and wait for one really good setup, which was this negative cross right here, and then just call it a day. That's what I did. Took my winner, called it a day, move on to the next, because we know better times are ahead when we do get that 30-minute to cross on either the puts or the calls. All we have to do is wait. That's a great thing. It doesn't matter what side we go cross on. Like, if someone's super biased to one side and they think this is going to happen, they're going to stick to it. But with the system, all you have to do is watch. You just watch for 2 SMAs to cross. Once we get that cross, we know which side has the edge and which side we can really milk out and squeeze a lot of points out of. So that's pretty much what you could have played right there. On the put side, we ended up coming back up to this 50, and I'm not sure what Friday. I think Trump was speaking on Friday at this time, so I wouldn't have been trading this right here, anything in this area. But if this was a typical day, you could possibly buy this retest. But I mean, the 50 was pretty flat, so I mean, even at that point, I wouldn't take that. But if we go to the call side now, what did we get on the call side? So right here, we did end up getting a cross. So you can see 10 went above the 50. But again, if you guys pay attention, this 50 right here is down the entire time. It's sloped down. This is not a cross you take because that 50 is sloped down. You wait for it to curl, and what happened? It curled right here on, I think, this candle or this candle. As soon as it curled, you could have entered this because this is like the initial cross. You don't have to wait for this 10 SMA to get reclaimed because this is still the initial cross we're looking for. And since, you know, as soon as that 50 curls, you could buy that. You could go long on this because it's the first initial curl to 50, and this is the initial cross. So you don't have to wait for it to get back above the 10. You can see, I think it curled on this candle right here on the close of it and the open of this one. And look at the move you got. Solid move. Nothing too crazy, again, because we are in a neutral market. This still gave probably like 50 points at NQ. So, you know, anything around 50 points, that's a good move for a neutral market. You know, there was no reason for this to be a red trade because if you went long on this curl, okay, you're up like 40 to 50 points. You know, take a trim. If you didn't hit that 50-point threshold, which I think you should have on this move, but if you didn't, you know, your stop is break even at that point. I would not be, you know, letting this flip red on me. And this is what the system does, man. It keeps us green day in, day out, even when the price action is bad. That's why the system's great. It lets us know when there's trend in the market and when we could really milk out one side, whether that's to the long or to the short side. And then when we're neutral, we know, okay, be less risk on, and, you know, fewer trades, less size, hold for less. And it's very simple that way. You know, when you put it into perspective like that, it's very simple. A lot of people don't trade the neutral market right. They take every single trade the system gives and, you know, over trade, size too much, and just get burned. So, you know, the system lets us know when to be, you know, risk on in the market, when to be risk off. That's why it's so great, in my opinion. And there's nothing out there like it. We know when the market's going to move. Most people don't. So when we look at the Friday charts, this is what we look like. So game plan for next week. Again, the put side here still neutral. We're neutral on both sides. I haven't even looked at the higher time frames. Yeah, see, with this chart right here, this 4-hour chart, this is a big deal right here. So the 10 is going below the 50 on the 4-hour time frame. That is a pretty major deal because it's a higher time frame negative cross. So most likely this is going to send us higher. And if we go to the call side, what do we look like on the 30-minute? If I had to guess, we're going to go and flip bullish. We're definitely going to at least pump to this 50 SMA, but I do think we're going to get that bullish cross because of that 4-hour chart on the puts going negative. But, you know, obviously I'm not gonna, that's what I favor. Obviously I'm gonna play what I see. So if this chart, I feel like we're obviously gonna get at least up to here, and then from there, you know, I still think we're going to cross, but I'm going to wait for that confirmation. I'm not just going to be like, oh, we're 100% going to do this. It's just what I think, and, you know, I think we will get the 30-minute cross. It's just pretty much a waiting game to see when we actually get it. And when we do get it, we know the focus will be on the bull side, and we look for that 0-day cross on calls, 50 dip on calls. If we remain neutral, which obviously we probably will open up neutral unless we get a big gap up, you know, 0-day cross on either side as long as we're not at the 50. So if we do come up into this 50 and that 0-day chart is just crossing, wouldn't take it. You know, who knows? I mean, we may miss the move, but that's just not a trade you want to take since we are right at that 50. Again, if we do hit that 50, reject it, then calls go negative, that's a trade you take. And if puts ended up crossing, okay, that's a trade you take. So those are like all the trades that you could take going into tomorrow and going into this week so far. So, you know, it's very simple. Again, every day we have a game plan, and when we're neutral, it's very easy, or when we're trending, it's very easy because it doesn't matter what way the market moves, we're going to catch the move. It's just how the system's designed, and that's why it's the best. That's why I preach the system so much. It does so well, and it's very simple to understand. So yeah, that's all I got. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like, drop a sub. If you guys want to learn, join Discord down below. That's where we share all the trades in there, and yeah, it's a great place to learn if you actually want to know how to make money in this game. So yeah, I'm out. Peace.